Hi there. My name is America Online at AOL.com, and I am a burlesque performer, a graphic designer, a Twitch streamer, and also an existential crisis haver. And I am here today to talk about my favorite game of all time, which is the Elder Scrolls III Morrowind. So a bit of a backstory of how I found this game. In 2002, as any filthy 10-year-old weeb, I was watching Toonami, and they did a review of the Elder Scrolls III Morrowind, where I just watched the video of it, where it is 2 minutes of Tom dunking on this game, of being like, oh, boring. That combat sounds stupid. I don't like that. 8 out of 10, whatever. And my 10-year-old brain was hooked. This was the coolest thing I've ever seen. I liked the idea of a giant immersive world where you could just do whatever you wanted. So I was hooked, and immediately I was given the ability to go to Blockbuster, and I rented the game on Xbox because I am a filthy console player at the age of 10 and was not a beautiful PC player. And so yeah, my first experience playing this was on the Xbox original, and I was just immediately hooked with the beautiful RPG world and the deep lore and everything about it. And it was just basically like the final like brick of me being like a fucking nerd for the rest of my life. Previous to this, I wrote fan fiction about Mario Kart, and also had developed my first video game crush, which was Waluigi, which is another story for another time. But back to Morrowind. Like, the fantasy world of it was super interesting and new to me, because my previous encounters with fantasy worlds was very European and medieval, which this game does have, but the game also has a very unique kind of weird mushroom cities and just mostly dark elves, these weird volcanic areas, and like cities where people live in like giant bug skeletons and stuff like that. So it was incredibly different, and the story and the ability to just do whatever you wanted, whenever you wanted, was incredibly appealing to a 10-year-old. And the plot of the story, you basically start out in a boat where you are a prisoner, and you are being taken to Morrowind because you are now Morrowind's problem. And you are given a prophecy of like, oh hey, you're the guy, and you gotta go take care of this shit before the world gets fucked up. So get to it. And then you're given the ability to choose your sex, race, class, and your power sign, which is like, you can have the ability to go fast, you can have the ability to be resistant to poison, or whatever. So I chose to be a female Nord. I was a battle mage, and my sign was the tower, which gave me the ability to unlock things, which was super crafty and helpful in circumstances. And I chose the name at the beautiful ripe old age of 10 of the hero. Her name was Turd. She was beautiful, she was fearless, and she was good and kind to all. And also she murdered anyone and everyone if they had very nice clothing, because she liked to wear it. She had problems in that way. But Turd was the savior of Morrowind reincarnated. And she killed many cliff racers, which was my biggest complaint about the game, was all of these absolutely annoying cliff racers and the combat system, which everyone else negs on as well. And it is one of the more harder things and glaring things of the Elder Scrolls game. But one of my favorite shining lights of the game is the soundtrack itself. Jeremy Soule is an absolute garbage human being, and anyone can fight me on that. But the soundtrack to this game is so beautiful. It's one of my favorites of the entire Elder Scrolls series. I love listening to it. It's so soothing and relaxing, and it makes you feel like you are a true adventurer in a world that is not your own. And that's just a very magical feeling that I only feel when I'm traveling very, very, very far away from home. And it has this very soothing sense to it that I absolutely love and adore. And that's what makes it so different from all of the other Elder Scrolls games for me, where Oblivion feels like a fever dream cartoon, and Skyrim just feels like we're living in a simulation. But the Elder Scrolls is just so deep in like weird Daedric lore and just so much text to read and so much weird things that, like, as a 10-year-old, you get so into it. But when revisiting it recently, I was reading it and just getting into all the weird text and like all the lore and dialogue options, and it at times feels like Todd Howard huffed a lot of paint, which like is its own thing and is super interesting and fun regardless. But I had such a amazing and wild time playing this game, and it has this just sense of nice comfort that whenever I play it, I just feel like I'm right back at home again with all my friends and exploring cities and going through dungeons and saving Vardenfell from impending doom and evil. That is just a kind of warm blanket feeling that it's hard to get from other games, and especially from other games in the series. So thank you so much, Todd Howard, for doing that. I appreciate you sometimes. And thank you so much for listening. Happy gaming.